If you are not here, if you're not with us, you can watch the recording and have a good idea about what we have done and what we're going to do uh, in the coming week and maybe later. So in this meeting, we're going to discuss together these things. We'll talk a little bit about the Finland movie. If you, I think all of you watched that movie and you like it so much from the discussions you had on the Moodle. We'll have a short discussion on that, and then we'll discuss your reflections on the ADP on the Moodle and answer your questions or some of the questions you had on the discussion forum. And I will let you know some of my notes about that. And I think you did a good job actually on talking and discussing, and even the infographics you have done on the difference between engineering and engineering design process, and which one is probably the part that we stress in STEM education. Is it engineering or engineering design process? Is it the content or the skills? And you made uh, all of you made a very good point that in STEM education we are after the skills, not the content. We'll discuss some ideas about engineering design in action, and I think you have read something about the difference between engineering design and science inquiry. Are they the same? Are they different? And how different they are? This is very important for especially for science teachers when the students are doing the work in the capstone or the projects, and then they try to find out how the engineering design is similar to the science inquiry process or the process of doing the science research. And then I will finally give you a brief about what we're going to do in week 5 and maybe in the weeks to follow. Okay, guys?
Okay, Doctor.
All right. So before we start, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me before we start this meeting? No questions? Oh, you're good guys.
اوكي دكتور، ممكن
Mhm.
سؤال او ممكن مناقشه؟ معلش،
مناقشة ولا
اعتبرني
سؤال؟
التلميذ الخايب يعني، او يعني سؤال صغير، اعتبرني التلميذ الخايب في الفصل ده.
لا أنت
بس
تلميذ
انا
شاطر. شاطر أنت
حرفيا الاسبوع ده تعبني جدا. انا مش قادره استوعب العلاقه، ايه المقارنه ما بين اي دي بي اللي احنا عايزينه
أوكي.
والانجينيرنج. اما والانجينيرنج ده مجرد فرع في العلم، يعني في كتير غيره. مش
أوكي.
بالضروره كل الولاد تبقى شاطره فيه، مش بالضروره كل الولاد تتجه له او تحبه حتى، بدليل
أوكي.
ان الماس مش ماده محبوبه قوي وسط الولاد، في ولاد كده وفي ولاد
كويس.
كده. فانا
كويس.
عانيت حقيقه في الاسبوع ده لغايه ما جبت انا يعني عملت
So,
الحاجات مطلوبه كويس، بس انا واقفه برضه حاسه
كويس. Yes.
مش مستوعبه المقارنه. ده ميثودولوجي
د-
وده ساينس، جاست ساينس. مش عارفه، انا حاساها كده، وانا حاسه ان انا تايهه قوي في الاسبوع ده بسبب كده، وعماله اتصل بكل الناس
Okay,
على
no
فكره.
problem.
تعبت الفريق كله بصراحه.
لا. No, 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 no problem. I'll answer you and we'll start to figure this out together. Shayma, do you have a question?
ثانك يو.
بعد إذنك يا دكتور، هو الميعاد ده
Yes.
هيفضل ثابت يوم الأربعاء الساعة 5؟
أنا كده مش أنتوا اللي قلتوا، أنا اللي قلت ولا أنتوا اللي قلتوا ولا مين؟ مش أنتوا اللي قلتوا 5 ولا
إحنا
لو
ابتدينا
سمحت يا دكتور،
15 الأسبوع
مش أنت؟
الجاي إن
خلاص يا
شاء
مروة،
الله.
خلاص يا مروة خلصت
انا
أنت.
انا فاضل لي اخر اسبوع، الاسبوع الجاي يعني الميتنج الجاي لينا ان شاء الله عادي، ممكن تبقى 7، مفيش
يا ريت.
مشاكل يعني.
طيب أنا كده ما بنتقابلش طبعا every week أنتوا عارفين، وكمان ممكن نفوت 2 weeks كمان ما نتقابلش، فاحنا بس بنتقابل لما بلاقي ان في يعني there is an importance for meeting، يعني there is something we need to discuss. and it came like this. It happens to be like bi-weekly and every 2 weeks, but maybe next week or the week after we have like 2 weeks without meeting, so you don't have to worry about that.
يعني لو في ظروف
You know,
مثلا
this
احنا في
course is
الشغل او حاجة، لان
selective.
انا باجي مش قبل 7، فيبقى في مشكلة لو في ميتنج ما حضرتوش او كده.
First of all, we're not meeting before 7 next times, so we'll be at 7. Second, this is recorded, so I'll post the recording on the Moodle and you can watch it again. Last and the
تمام.
most important thing is that this course is asynchronous. What does this mean? It means that we don't have to meet at all. It should be like this work on the Moodle, and I give you comments and you give me and feedback, and you ask me questions and I reply to you in different ways, maybe writing or video or audio. So meetings are not part of the structure of this course, but we are doing it to help, just to help.
اوكي تمام. ثانك يو
Okay
دكتور.
guys. You're welcome.
اوكي ثانك يو.
بس انت انا حاسس انت جايز متضايقه او حاجه، من حد مضايقك ولا حاجه؟
انا
ايوه شيماء حاسس ان هي متضايقه جدا كده
لا لا ابدا والله مفيش حاجة، لسه راجعين بس من الشغل من شوية.
هو يكون حد ضايقك في المدرسه؟ بس يعني لو حد ضايقك في المدرسه قولي واحنا نزعله لك يعني. All right. The question that Mushira, Nago or Mushira was asking.
مشيرة. مين مشيرة؟
Okay. I would like everybody to be muted so that we can hear well. We don't have any background noise. So the question was, what is the relation between engineering and EDP? The relation is this E. No, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself.
I'm so sorry. I was just changing the device so that it got unmuted. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I think we have 9 people. That's good. Good number. So let's go back to the question of Mushira. What's the relation between engineering and engineering design process? The relation is the E. This is engineering, and this is how engineering is done. And looking at two things, the content and the skill or the process. Do we want our students in the K-12 education stage to know the content of engineering or the skills and the processes of engineering? We're not after the content. We're not trying to, we're not doing the content study. So students are not studying engineering, mechanical engineering or electric engineering or computer engineering. But we are after the skill or the process. Why? Because it's the foundation. This process is the foundation, is the basis for the project-based learning. When we do project-based learning, we need to follow a kind of a process. We need to follow some steps. And these steps happen to be those followed by the engineering design process. So generally, when engineers start to work on a project or solve a problem, they start with the definition of the problem and then the research solutions, and then they design constraints or design requirements. Then they pick a design, then they build the design, then they test the design, then they communicate. So that's why students should be able to know or to follow, to understand that process, but they don't have to master the content of engineering. And that's why when we talk about STEM, we have the E in STEM. And the big question was actually that a lot of people would understand that when we have the E in STEM, we mean engineering, but we actually don't mean engineering as a content, but we mean the process of solving problems using the engineering design process. So that's why it's part of STEM education, and this is like what we call the most innovative part of STEM, because generally uh, we have science in schools, right? We have science from day zero, so this is not new. And we have mathematics in education from old history. This is not new. What is new is that the technology, it's a little bit new and old. We had like maybe since the 2000s, students studying IT in the schools. They study computer, information technology, and so on. But the brand new thing is adding that E to K-12. When we say K-12 education, we mean that pre-college education system. And we had a lot of discussions about what is the E in STEM. And in this week, in the discussions of the previous week, you have made a very good point that the E in STEM is not engineering in general, but it is the engineering design process, which is a skill that we need our students to master in order to be able to solve problems. Right?
Okay.
Does this answer your question, Mushira, or still not?
Yes, yes, that's what I, yes, that's clear enough. But you know, it's look like all scientific skills only in engineering.
Oh no, no, you don't have to say that. We'll come to this because sometimes, and when I explain the engineering design process to students who don't like engineering or even science, you can put this in action in any social problem. Any,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I used to tell my students that one day I had a problem with my kid. I have a problem with my kid. He does not study, for instance. So this is my problem, right? So in order to solve the problem with this kid, I asked people who have other kids or kids like older than mine, who has previous experience with dealing with kids. So I asked many people about their how they dealt with their kids. So these are the previous solutions of the problem. Then when I started to select one of the solutions, I chose that solution that is very convenient to my case, convenient to my environment, my culture, my family. So if the three people here, one of them told me I used to hit my son in order to make him study, and the other one said I used to give him money to study, and the third one told me that I used to negotiate with him, talk to him, persuade him, sit together to find out how we can make them study well in their for their exams. So according to these different solutions, I chose the one solution that I think is better for my kid. It depends on the culture and the environment. And then I designed a solution that, so between me and my son, I say, yeah, I will do these things to the 1, 2, 3 with my kid. I test the solution. I start to apply this solution with my kid, and then I see the result. So that's an EDP. That's EDP in social science, EDP in social life. So you don't have to solve what we call a hardware problem, a hard problem. You may solve soft problems too using the engineering design process. And we study it because it's a way of helping students to proceed with logic in their life. You don't have to jump to conclusions before you study the problem and you look at what other people have been doing with that problem. And then you design a solution that's very convenient to your circumstances, and you plan something and then you test it and redesign and so on and so forth. So this is a way of helping our kids, our students, to understand that in order to solve all our problems in life, we need to follow a certain way, certain approach, or process, and that process uh, is engineering design process, and it's engineering because it can be linked. There should a kind of a link between what we do in real life situations and what we do in social life situations and what we do to solve our problems, the biggest problems we have in our life. Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's clear much. That's clear many parts actually. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Don't feel shy or worried about asking. So this is the time we talk together and have your questions. Good, 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 good to go. So let me. Um, I think you remember this video, uh, the video about education in Finland. Do you remember that video?
Yes,
Yeah.
very interesting video.
You know, Doctor, we saw this video
Yes,
after we been announcement that we have our children have an exam about all civilians in one session.
Uh-huh.
So really, it looked like a disaster when we saw that, and we fight at our homes to really we have exam. We have a study. You can guess how we feel about that.
Okay. So as you have watched that, and I think it was in the on the resources of week 4 or 3, the week where we studied the different integration approaches. You remember the multi, right? The multidiscipline, the interdisciplinary approach, and the transdisciplinary approach. And we put that video in the resources. And my question for you was, or now, my question for you now is, what is your description of the education in Finland, very briefly, if you can, if you'd like to describe education in Scotland, how can you describe it? I would like to describe the education in Scotland, in Finland, sorry, Finland, not Scotland.
I suppose
Inspiring.
imaginary. It's something fancy.
No, we don't want adjectives about that. We don't want. We need to tell us
Literally, can we
what's
depend
happening.
about our children to learn, to decide what they want to learn? I'm not sure about that. I'm confusing about that. It looks like dream, not real life.
yes. Can I speak?
Yes, Osama. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it depends on the students' center of the education process. Students discover things and learn from the life, from learn practical, not in only in a school. At game, students learn by game, by discovering things. It's not like to save information and work hard repeatedly for score gets high score. High score. It depends on in continuous learning. teach him or teach students some behavior of learning, or how to he be happy when he is learning. It's not like tasks, many tasks.
Yes, excellent. This is excellent. So, Nagwa, yes, you'd like to say something? Go ahead.
One thing I want to say is how they care about their students' social life. When they say they don't have homework, because they have many things to do after school, such as sitting with their families or doing a hobby. This is very important, and we neglect this, I think, in our education here in Egypt. We give them much homework, and they don't have any time to do anything after school and a long school day, after their tutorials, after they do their homework. So this distract the students' social life. I am a mother also, and I don't have any time to visit anyone or to go to the club, for example, or anything like that. I think is the reason for Finland success in education is um, their يعني أنا عايزة أقول إيه their interest or about the students' social life.
Excellent. Yes, I agree with you. Social life is part of learning, so that's why they put it in perspective, because students don't only study at school, they study in and out of school. Huh? That's
Doctor,
right.
yes, that's right. But in our, I suppose that because their society is really not social to each other, they not have like a big family like we have here in Egypt. We can't literally count on what people want to learn. Yes, we have a problem in our curriculum. It's huge than time allow, and we depend all the school and evaluate them. But I don't know. I see this risk if we will try it here in Egypt. I don't know why. I feel dangerous. Yes, it may be good. It need a good educated parent, and yeah, a good educated huge family, not
Yeah.
only parent, to apply this experiment. But I see it's wonderful. Yes, we can
So,
reduce a little bit for our curriculum.
oh, okay. So we're not talking here about
Yeah, I
math.
know.
We're talking
I just
about,
make a comparing between them.
all right.
Honestly.
So let me ask you the other question. The question in other words. So if we look at the Finland education, is it a multidiscipline or an interdisciplinary or a transdisciplinary approach from what you have studied in the previous weeks? Is it multi, inter, or trans?
I think it's trans.
Transdisciplinary.
Why? Why do you think so?
Um, I suppose they have something like a whole huge headline, and all curriculum, all disciplines work under it, and one
So,
seems
so,
and
so,
everyone
so there's
shares
one theme,
one theme. Yeah.
and you know, nobody said that when they were discussing the system, no one of them mentioned this word.
Yes.
They didn't say
noticed.
transdisciplinary, though it is transdisciplinary because, as you saw, there was no mention of disciplines. So the students go to the school and they don't have like English class or math class or reading class or
Yes.
whatever. It's a topic and they are having all the subjects
Yeah.
integrated in a very natural manner to discuss this topic. So it's transdisciplinary, right? And that's why we choose to watch it on that week because it's an application of what we want to say about that. So let's go to the other question. Now we have described it. What makes it successful, in your opinion? And some of you said that because they are small, and Dalia said it has no standardized tests. So what made that system, which is very hard to apply, what made it so successful, in your opinion?
I need to ask first how we can judge a system. I know about the students when they're going out, about outcome, about their knowledge, or about how skills they can. Now,
That's a very good question. Yes, that's a very good question. So we usually judge the success by comparing the objectives of a system or the goals with the outcome, with the product, right? So if you here say, I would like my students to be innovative, right? So let's see, and I'll tell you, yeah, okay, let's see after 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, how innovative are they? Okay, and there are some measures, assessment, evidence, some evidence. We need to see some evidence of innovation. And in Finland, it happened to that system is very successful because when they make that assessment, and it is not only local assessment but international assessment, they found that the education system in Finland is or has been #1 in the world for maybe 10 to 20 years consecutively. Like every year, Finland was #1 in the world in terms of students' skills and achievement. And I think some of those international tests, like the TIMSS exam. The TIMSS exam.
yes, it's applied here in Egypt each 2 years,
Is
and
it
we really,
is
yes,
it applied?
yes, we have like exam, some school chosen, and students enter it, and really it's horrible result. We fail each time. Yes, yes. I'm a science teacher.
You are
We
very
train.
you are very pessimistic, Mushira. I don't know.
No, not that. Our children, I think they are genius. They are genius. But when you put them in a situation as exam, they not. They answer exam every class. I give them terms of question. In the situation of exam world, they start to freak out. They disappointment us, and it's happened everywhere. And I suppose we have also problem in teacher it's themselves.
All right, so we'll come to this. But in Finland, they used to come like #1,
Yeah, I
and
know.
then they have Singapore, South Korea, China, Japan, and all the rest. So that's why people were many people in the world started to look at Finland to see why this country is getting #1 every time, and we need to know why they have achieved that kind of success. And I see here, I think Daria is saying they have no standardized tests, no tests like ours, and what else? And they are graded on individualized basis, and the grades is set by the teachers, and that's something very good. There's something I usually call, and educators usually refer to, is called CIA. So CIA is my terminology. So hopefully it's not a bad thing. CIA is, huh? CIA, guys?
No.
How come? How come you don't CIA?
And CIA in education or
Everything. You don't have any idea about CIA?
yes, CIA.
Something like police. Police.
Police, police, yes.
American.
American Intelligence Agency. Central Intelligence is American Central Intelligence.
Yes, CIA is for
مخابرات أمريكية.
Oh no, yes, but I don't mean that, of course.
Yes.
So there is, for a successful education system, for any successful education system, we need to have an alignment between C, which is a curriculum. So we can have very good curriculum, and instruction, which is how teachers teach, and assessment, which how students are assessed. So so you can have very good curriculum. So you have a very wonderful curriculum in Egypt for grade up to grade 3, from K to 3. I think it's now very well developed, and it's done in a very nice way. But the problem with that curriculum is who is teaching the curriculum, and are those teachers well prepared to teach it? And the third thing is how those students are assessed. If there is no alignment between the three, alignment means the same high quality thing is applied in the three spheres, in the three circles. If they are not done at the same level of quality, the result will be failure. So if you have a very nice transdisciplinary curriculum, but the teachers cannot do it, so what's the value of the curriculum? Nothing. If the students and their parents are only looking for how to get the grades to pass, what kind of exams they're going to go into, and just to get the certificate without any knowledge and then or any learning rather. So the curriculum has no value because the students are not learning the right way. The students are actually again after obtaining the information and then retrieve that information in the exam, which again is a big problem. In order to make this alignment, great effort should be there, great effort actually for at all levels, at the Ministry of Education level, at the teachers level, at the parents level, at the experts level, at the resources level. But if one uh, part of that organization, that system, just one part is working, and the others are just crippling or looking at them without any support, the result is again is another failure. So in order to achieve this alignment, which we call constructive alignment, for that to happen, a lot of effort should be done, and that's probably the secret of the success in Finland. They don't only just make a good curriculum. They make they design a very good curriculum, and they hire quality teachers who are very well prepared. You cannot teach in Finland easily. So they give the teachers the greatest salary in the country, but they pick the best people to be teachers. So everybody in Finland, the dream of a Finnish person is to be a teacher. And not only in Finland, there are some other countries in Europe like Estonia, maybe some other countries, Germany, South Asian countries, the people there, the dream job of everybody is to be a teacher because they get the highest salary and they are very highly respected. But it's not easy to be a teacher. So it's not easy. You cannot just become a teacher because you graduated from a college, whatever that college is. You need to have at least master's degree in education, and that master's degree should be coupled with a lot of practice or practicum experience in schools. So for a successful experience in education, you need to have that constructive alignment between the three things: curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And that's what we hope we have in Egypt one day. Okay, guys?
Yeah, can I tell you something,
Okay.
Dr. Sometimes for last year, I've been training teachers to teach the new curriculum and how methodology about new methodology about it and about new idea. Do you know parents force their children to have the old curriculum private at home؟ بيدوهم دروس على المنهج القديم. مش أولياء الأمور مش مقتنعة إن هو يتعلم الحروف بشكل ملخبط أو يعلمها أو يفهمها بشكلها المجمل ويتعلم اللغة في الحوار. لا، هو لازم يكتب وياخد واجب 10 صفحات
Yes.
لا، ده اللي بيحصل حقيقي.
Yes, and that's a big issue. That's a very big issue.
Yes, parents' issue, and they keep screaming all the day on Facebook. That's disaster of this education. They're not complaining.
Yeah, but again, yeah, the parents are not aware of the importance of that. But another problem is that this highly developed curriculum is not taught by the teachers. I hear from many teachers that it's given to like the activity teachers to teach, which is not.
Yes, that's also a disaster. We're missing numbers at the schools.
Yeah, so here we have a problem of instruction, a problem of teaching and teachers.
Yeah.
Because the parents, if the parents see that everything is going well on the side of the schools and the teachers, and everything is, and they can see the kids are developing, they wouldn't make that kind of resistance. So it's reciprocal. It's two paths going and back and forth between the teachers, the parents, the Ministry of Education, the kids, the culture of the society itself. Because you were one day you were a student and you used to pass the exams,
Yes.
by memorizing everything.
And the only thing I remember from the school, my activity classes. I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right. So here again, put this like a rule in your life as a teacher. If you would like to succeed in any education system, you need to have this alignment. If you have this, okay, but you don't have this, okay, the result is failure. If you have this, okay, and this, okay, but this one is not okay, it's again failure. You cannot succeed unless the three of them are working together. Because we usually say assessment drives the curriculum. Assessment drives the curriculum. So the students usually study what they are going to be assessed in. They want to know what's in the exam, so that they get ready for that exam. So if the exam is a project, if the exam is a debate, if the exam is a presentation, if the exam is an observation of things, they like to do these things during the school year. You cannot come all of a sudden in the assessment and tell them, okay, guys, your examination this year is a project. Okay, I'll give you a problem. I'd like you to work together to solve it. We cannot do this unless this is done in these two levels. So the students are doing it in the class before they are assessed in it, and it's part of their curriculum. If it's not that, if this is not happening, when you give this to the student, the assessment, it will be a shock for everybody, and nobody is going to learn out of it. Okay, guys, so this is a secret of any successful education system. Put this in mind. Okay, any questions? Any other questions? Guys, my friends.
It's okay.
I'm telling هو مشيرة هي اللي معانا النهارده بس ولا ايه؟
معلش مشيرة اصل قاعدة طول الأسبوع بتلف حوالين نفسها. أنا آسفة والله.
واضح اللفة. لا اللفة عمل نتيجة
كلنا we are
عايزين تلف كل أسبوع.
كل أسبوع هلف اللفة دي. يا أبيض.
اللفة مفيدة وواضح إنها نتيجة have a very good result. And that's why struggling is very important for education. That's very important.
Yeah.
Sam, would you like to say anything? I've just heard you. Osama, are you here, Osama? Are you here?
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you want to say anything?
now the next question, can it be replicated?
Yes.
I
Can
think,
the
mm,
So we have discussed it, and now we know what it's about. So do you think can it be replicated? Can be it repeated in other countries,
mm, uh,
in Egypt, let's say?
yes.
You know, doctor, to replicate this one, we shouldn't be in all
So
for all
let's
schools.
listen to Osama.
Mm,
Let's
Okay,
listen to
Asad.
Osama first.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
أسامة is يا
We
جماعة
need,
الراجل الوحيد في الكورس.
yes, we need to change, we need to adopt something is the culture of the society, the media.
So so
Uh,
so so first yes or no? You mean yes?
yes, yes, but with some
Yes.
modification and some trying.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, but so we need to have a lot of changes regarding the environment, culture,
Mm, mm,
teacher preparation, and stuff
mm.
like that. Okay, right? Correct.
Yes, and training of teachers,
Training.
training.
What do you think of the training? Is it a what if training is the training that the teachers are just coming to I don't know, to a place where someone is telling them what to do?
No,
Is that the right training?
it can be training under job or it's like an expert teacher with a new teacher. He takes his experience. But the new thing is the system is new. So the experts are few. We have few experts in this system or this new modified or successful education system. So
Okay.
uh, it takes time to spread
Yes.
this
Yes. Takes
culture.
time.
Mm.
So do you think we need more teachers to do this, or is the number okay?
We can invite some teachers from Finland in like a multi exchange of scholarship. We
Mm,
send some teachers there, and we get also some teachers from Finland there and distribute it among some developed systems like Japanese schools or STEM schools or experiment schools. Uh, so it's like to uh, make exchange of cultures and skills of teaching.
mm.
And the
Yes.
others also, the others, our Egyptian who are going to Finland get this information from different type of schools is there. We can send also to China, to Singapore. So it need a good plan. Also, there is a system of exchanging English teachers to teach Arabic in America. You know this
Mm.
scholarship or this granite. It's like a
Yeah.
job for 1 year.
Yes, the Fulbright. You mean
Yes.
Fulbright? Yes.
Mm.
It- Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Any other contributions, guys?
Yes, I think we need to unite the system of education as one of their success criteria is that the education is united. All of it is going
Yeah.
with the same system. But here in Egypt, you can see multiple systems and multiple ideas. So this makes a distraction from my point of view.
Mm. Couldn't agree more. I agree. Yeah, Egypt has like more than 10 education systems in the same country,
Mm.
which is not the case in I
But
think
but
in
but but but,
most places. Yes, go ahead.
but I think it's good to make different systems. You can't collect all these ideas or these systems in one system, but you can have expert. You like you are doing trial and error. You check this system and this system, and if one is successful, we can increase the type of schools of this system or many schools of this system. Hmm? Are you agree with me or not?
So yeah. Well, I'm just but it's very hard to from different points of view
Hmm.
to have like let's say the international schools where the students are having the American diploma or the
Hmm.
IB or the معرفش إيه،
Japanese,
whatever
Japanese,
Japanese
Hmm.
schools
STEM
وبعدين
school.
عندنا الأزهر schools
Hmm.
عندنا STEM schools general education schools general education عندك Arabic instruction schools وبعدين عندك
Hmm.
مش عارف official بيسموها official ده غلط طبعا مش هيسموها official
Hmm.
public language schools. This is a big mix and it's against equity. Equity. So if you think the Japanese system is a great thing, so why don't you apply it in all schools
Hmm.
for all people, for all kids? Because all kids are your kids. So you know
Hmm.
if your kids are getting Japanese education system because it's a good one, so why not my kids too? And if this is a good system, so we need to have everybody taking it so that we have good
To
future
apply it,
generation.
to apply it in all the primary schools. If it's work.
Yeah, but the problem, to be frank with us, with everybody, we don't have the resources we need. We don't have the economic resources to make all the schools like just
Hmm.
Uh,
that's one of the things that would require a lot of community participation. So
and
the people who have a lot of money need to
I I
yes.
see in Finland when I see the video when he asked her what's the best school I go to it with my kids. She tell the nearest school to your home because all the school is
Mhm.
equal. Yeah, all the schools are
Yes,
the same. Are the same. It is not. You know the difference between schools, and there's no schools for rich people or poor people at
mm.
Egypt.
Yes.
Rich
So
one.
that's a big dream we hope that we can reach. Hopefully this will happen in any time in the future. But actually, the best model, like the thing in every good place in the world, is that we have the same system, and you have similar schools around the country. So the students in Suhag are having the same quality education like the people in Zamalek, and the
Mm,
people in Alexandria are having the same thing in Suez. So people in the same country are receiving the same quality education. Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
let's stop this discussion because it's a nice one and will take our time. So thank you for sharing, guys, and I hope that the people who are not talking are either agreeing with us uh, or if they have any other point of view, just please share with us. Uh, as we just mentioned, so in Scotland they have that transdisciplinary approach, which is like everything is inside the circle of the education system, and it's the complete opposite of the disciplinary approach, which is uh, every discipline is done in silo. What's happening now after this great success in Finland? They are changing the curriculum again, and they're saying that we need to be less ambitious a little bit. We need to go back this way, and other countries in the world are moving this way, and both of them are meeting in mid ground. Mid ground means, yeah, we need to have integration, but not that complete integration. We need to have integration with some disciplinary barriers within that integration, which is taking us from the multidisciplinary to the interdisciplinary approach, where the students are studying subjects, disciplines, science, math, English, geography, history, but at the same time they are doing part of their work is transdisciplinary projects or approaches, where they are going to do or apply what we call the parallel system. And the parallel system is half of it disciplinary, and the other half is transdisciplinary. Here they're doing project-based learning, problem-based learning, and different kinds of work. But here they're doing, in the other half, they're learning about the different concepts that they should be aware of in their academic life. So that the new movement in Finland is that they are going back a little bit, and the new movement in the world, they are going forward a little bit. So we are, instead of being in the completely trance or the completely silo, they are doing both of them. So May is asking, so why are they changing? Yeah, they found out because they are looking at their experiment as if it's a human endeavor, and the human endeavor shouldn't be perfect in any way. And they found out that their kids are now very good at the skills. They do everything well. They can communicate, they can collaborate, they can critique and stuff like that. But they're still lacking some conceptual knowledge. The conceptual knowledge, you know the conceptual knowledge, right? They have some problems with mathematical concepts, scientific concepts, linguistic concepts, which they are going to need in their higher education. So they said that, yeah, it's great to have a skills-based approach, which every place in the world they are doing the skills-based approach. But at the same time, this cannot happen um, uh, at the expense of the conceptual knowledge. We need to have both of them. We need our students to know the conceptual stuff in different disciplines, but at the same time, they need to develop their different skills that are needed in 21st century. So that's why they are moving a little bit less, while the world is moving a little bit more, and both of them are meeting middle ground. What the middle ground is interdisciplinary approach, where a part of the school day is for the academic subjects, and the other part of the school day is for transdisciplinary projects, discussions, debates, work, and so on and so forth. Okay, guys?
Okay.
So Daria is having a question here, but I don't understand the question. Do you have a concept misunderstanding? I,
Okay.
I don't think they misunderstand transdisciplinary, but by practice, when things come into ground, when you practice things on the ground, you can discover new things. You can discover, is it successful? Does it need to
Yes.
be amended?
Uh,
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 yeah.
example in STEM school transdisciplinary is a project, capstone project. It's
Yes. Yes. So STEM schools in Egypt are doing this. So they have the disciplines, right? So students study science, math, English, whatever. But at the same time, these disciplines are translated into a transdisciplinary project-based learning. Okay, so they are making the two things. If you do this alone, And you remember when you read about transdisciplinary, they said the one most important uh, stipulation or condition to have transdisciplinary education is that the students have good background knowledge. If the students don't have that good background knowledge, they will struggle. They will struggle a lot in the transdisciplinary approach. So that the only way to make up for that is to encourage students having this kind of conceptual knowledge uh, the different lessons or periods or sessions they have in each discipline every week. So they understood this from practice. Yes, Dalia, they have like 10 years doing transdisciplinary projects, transdisciplinary education system, and then they have a new wave of reform, which is trying to get conceptual knowledge in action. And that's why, if we as Egypt, if we try to imitate the experience of Finland, should we start from here or from here? I mean, if we'd like to be like Scotland, should we start from here or from here? If this is one and this is two, one or two?
Two. Two.
Yes. Logically, we should say two. So we don't invent the wheel. We don't invent the wheel, right? All right. Thank you guys for this discussion. I hope that you have learned something out of it. So let's see what's next. I would like you to watch this very short video, and I have a question for you, so that we understand together the engineering design process better. So this is for the people who have still problems or questions about engineering design process. Let's watch this. This is like a few seconds video. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
The tiger rules the forest and keeps nature in balance. All wild animals are precious and play vital roles on our planet. When we remove wild animals from their natural homes to trade them, we bring misery to them and tragedy upon ourselves. Their viruses mutated and gave us HIV, Ebola, SARS, bird flu, and COVID-19. We can all help prevent the next pandemic by ending the commercial trade in wild animals wherever it takes place. It's time to change our relationship with nature forever, for all.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a
Okay.
very short
Yes.
video, and very nice one, I think.
Mm.
I'd like you, when I'm asking the question that's coming, to you put yourself in the shoes of the teacher once you be a teacher or a curriculum developer, and once in the shoes of students. I'd like you to take care of this when we're just coming to the question. All right. The question is, how can we avoid more pandemics? So if you are now a teacher, let's look at it from the teacher point of view. Okay. And you are asked that, okay, guys, this year our topic is pandemics. Our topic or our theme, maybe our theme in secondary one, that's grade 10 in STEM school will be pandemics. And what kind of question is this called if you are in STEM schools? What is this
Essential
question?
question.
Okay, Osama. Good. Thank you so much, man.
Okay.
اوكي جايز عرفتوا يعني ايه شوتوا اسامه ناس اسامه معانا اهو. This is called essential question. Is it a good essential question, Osama, or not?
Yes, it's a good, very good essential question.
Very good. Strong essential question.
Yes.
So and we can measure a strong essential question by some criteria. يرحمكم الله. خلي الناس ركز معايا يا جماعه. يا بنات انتوا معايا؟ يا بنات.
ايوه يا مستر، يا دكتور معاك.
معاك يا دكتور.
معاك يا دكتور.
يا بنات، واحنا يا اما مشيره تتكلم يا اما اسامه. ما مش معقول. عايزين كل بقى يتكلم يا جماعه، عشان انا كده مش هسجل لكم. انت هتزهقوني كده. انا بكلم نفسي. انا يا اما عامل حوار مع مشيره يا حوار مع اسامه وبعدين بقى معاكم. فين بقى البنات في الكلاس ده؟ فين رانيا طيب؟
فينكم يا جماعه يا حضرات؟
ايوه ايوه كده. في حد بيعطس بس، في حد هنا بيعطس بس.
مش انا.
يا دكتور انا سايقه فبسمع بس مش قادره اتكلم.
عشان كده قافلين الميكروفون يا دكتور، عشان الحاجات دي بس.
هو البتاع ده بينقل كوفيد 19
يا دكتور
انا خايف اتعزل. خايف حد يتعدي.
هو لو كان زوم بينقل كوفيد 19 ممكن نقفل الباب بتاع ده. اوكي
عشان صحتنا بالدنيا يا جماعه.
مش معقول كلها طب لابسين كمامه ولا ايه اخباركم؟
برضو
ماشي. طيب ماشي يا سامع. خلاص يا رانيا، شكرا يا رانيا، عرفنا. شكرا. والله انا غلطان اللي سالت عن رانيا. خلاص شكرا. طيب طيب لو احنا teachers وعندنا الاسينشال question ده essential question and we would say that this is a strong essential question. خلاص بقى mute yourself يا رانيا. انا اسف يا رانيا، معلش. خلاص اقفلي. خلاص شكرا. we'll find out that it's the question word here is how, which is very open-ended and give the students great space to discover and learn and develop ideas to solve the problem. And then the verb itself is doing like giving us a kind of a flexibility to have an action. There is some kind of an action here. And pandemics is a word that is open. It's not only science or health or whatever. It's many things together. So this is how we find out that this is a good essential question. It's open-ended. It has action. It can integrate more than one discipline together, and it can help students to work together to find an answer. And it can be debatable too. Debatable means I can have a solution and you can have another solution. You have an idea and I have a counter idea, so we can open very good discussions regarding that question. So that's why we said it's good one. So if you are teachers and you have this essential question, what are you going to do to plan your work, to plan your curriculum? Do you remember what you do in any unit in a curriculum STEM unit?
We put the learning. We put learning outcomes.
Excellent. So we have goals first.
Goals, and we have learning and put learning outcomes to achieve these goals.
You have to lesson plan.
Lesson plan, it is my work, the teacher's work, but in curriculum, on curriculum,
we put goals. We put goals the first, and learning outcomes to achieve these goals, and then plan to make an activity and what we do in the class.
Okay, that's good idea. That's good start. So we're going to very briefly talk about the understanding by design. It's a three-stage thing. Take care.
Yes,
This is important. It will happen. It will help you later.
we, we, we,
Yes,
we
go
have a
ahead.
training in understanding by design in STEM.
مش باين أيوة.
At the first, at the first, we know learning outcome and put the goals, and then we put activities. Last year,
خلاص بقى ثانية واحدة بقى ثانية واحدة بقى سوري بقى
م-
دي منال اللي بتتكلم ولا
أيوة
مشكلة؟
أيوة أنا منال.
ازيك يا منال؟ لا أنت طالما منال خلاص يا منال قول.
والله سكت والله سكت.
أنا بهزر معاكم أنتوا الاتنين. أنا أحب الناس الشاطرة، الناس اللي بتشارك معايا بقى.
ربنا
هزعل من الناس اللي ساكتة ديت، هزعل منهم. مش هروح سوهاج بقى بعد كده.
انا مشيره من سوهاج على فكره. تيجي
لا
عندنا.
طيب أنا رحت طنطا. طيب the understanding by design has three stages. The first one is a goal stage, and it's very important to set the goals. We call it desired results, and it's about what kind of students we need in the future. We need them to learn out of that unit, at the end of that unit. So you will talk about the skills, the knowledge, the understandings, the attitudes. So we need the students to understand. We need the students to learn some content. We need the students to do some skills, and we know them to have some social skills, some soft skills like communicate, collaborate, critique, and so on and so forth. Then we change those big things into learning outcomes, which are like very action or smart learning outcomes, which they're specific, measurable, relevant, attainable, and time bound. And if we have standards, if this is like a curriculum with standards, we need to put the standards of each subject that is included in the answer to that essential question. So that's a very good essential question, because you can have science here, you can have math, you can have engineering,
chemistry.
You can have all the science things. Yes, you can have language arts, you can have English, Arabic, you can have art.
And chemistry to find the vaccines of.
Yes, yeah. We said science things. So when we say science, we mean chemistry, biology, physics.
Okay.
So this will be the first step. The second step in the understanding by design is the assessment. Why is the assessment? Because it's backward design. We are looking at the future, and then we're coming from the future to the present. So how we know that our students achieved these goals? There should be an evidence, right?
Yes.
And the assessment is the evidence. We say that by the end of this unit, the students are going to do two things: a summative assessment and a formative assessment. The summative assessment is the project, right? They're going to find the solution to that problem through a project, and that project will be, they're going to present it at the end of the semester. They have a prototype, they have a poster, all these things. This is summative assessment.
Yes.
But before they do this, in order to do this, they're going to go through a lot of other assessments. They're going to have quizzes, have presentations, debates, field trips, discussions, and so on and so forth. So this is the second thing that should be written first in the plan of the curriculum.
Evidence.
The evidence of learning. The third one, and this is the great part of the teachers, is the learning plan. The learning plan. So now the teachers should decide what they are going to do from day one to day whatever. So they're going to say, in day one, we're going to introduce a problem through some kind of activities. So they're going to write the objectives of the day, they're going to write the different activities they're going to use on that day, and the assessment they're going to use. Day two, the students are doing so and so and so. Day three, the students are doing so and so and so. So this is how the teacher, or how the understanding by design approach is done in very brief, very brief. So start with the goals, and then you go to the assessment, which is the evidence that the students have mastered these goals, and you finally write your learning plan, the day-to-day plan, what the students are going to do on each day. Okay?
Yes.
Is that clear for everybody? Everybody here? If it's clear,
Yes.
make a thumb up or thumb down or أي حاجة in the chat.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that I'm moving ahead. ولا واحد فاهم حاجة، ده حاجة عظيمة جدا كده. أنا واضح كده.
لا بجد واضح
واضح جدا. ولا حد
Just
نقول
can't
thumb.
find the emoticons. I'm so sorry.
طب انت تشات قول
But
يس.
I'm following.
والله ولا فولوينج ولا اي بتاع بتنجان ولا اسمه ايه ده. Oh, clear. طيب. So if you are the student, so you know in the first part we have been the teachers. We've been planning these things. If you are the student, oh, if you are the students, so the students are doing this. They are following the engineering design process to solve the question, how can we avoid more pandemics? They spend some days defining the problem. What is the pandemics? What kind of pandemics? Where are the pandemics? How deep? How far? How much? How many people are affected? And so on and so forth. They start to do brainstorming of solutions, search for solutions, establishing criteria or constraints. They considered one solution, they select an approach to do the solution, they develop the design, they make a model, a prototype, they test, redesign, create a solution, communicate the solution. All of these stages are done by who? Who is doing this, guys?
Student.
By the
The
student.
student.
Yes.
The student.
Don't forget.
Yes.
So here are students' work. Are they doing this on their own or by the help of the teachers?
By help of the
With the
teachers.
help of teachers.
Excellent, excellent. So
By
if
the
this is the
teachers.
design, yes, if this is the engineering design process, so in the center of the code is the students, but the teachers are everywhere. But the teachers
Yes.
are facilitating the relearning, facilitating how to do this. So this is the importance of the engineering design process. And if you are working in a STEM school, you have the capstone project, and the
Yes.
capstone project is following this. Is
Yes.
following, so say week 1 problem definition, week 2 still problem definition, week 3 brainstorming solutions, and go on and so on and so forth. So the students are going.
The calendar of every semester.
Yes, I was one of the people who designed this calendar with from the first days of STEM schools in Egypt.
Nice.
Now, do you see why the engineering design process is very important? Can you see how it's important for the students to understand in order to find solutions to problems?
Yes, it's very important.
To organize their work and
Yes, it
It's
makes
it's like,
everything.
it's like a plan.
Yes, a plan.
the
Excellent.
steps. Yeah.
Yeah, we need them to learn this. We need them to plan. We like this, our students to plan, to be logical, to have what we call STEM literacy. We don't need them to be all engineers, of course. We need them to be for everybody. We need them. We need the teachers to know this. We need the drivers to know this. We need the lawyers to know this. We need fathers and parents to know how to solve their own problems using a logical process, which happen to be the engineering design process. So when students are trained to do that at school level, they'll find it's very easy to do this in their real life situations. All right, my friends.
all right, doctor.
Okay, all right.
So,
All right.
so I was I was trying to make sure that uh, uh, you understand the ADB, although this was last week's work, but it's very, very important for us to understand. And these are the features of the EDB, why uh, we like that. And in one of the readings you have last week, you have this table to make the comparison between the engineering design process and scientific inquiry
Scientific
process.
inquiry. Yes, we read it.
Yes, very,
Yes.
very, this is very, very important to know, and very, very important to help our students understand the difference so that they don't mix between both of them. Although they look similar, but they're not the same, of course. So, for instance, one of the things that we'd like you to know is here is the difference between the step number 3 here and here. In engineering, they start to develop solutions, but in science, they start to make hypotheses.
Hypothesis.
And developing the hypothesis is a part of the work of a scientist, but it's not the part of the work of the engineer. Okay, guys. So let's look at two things. One is uh, your EDP, engineering design reflections. This one. Can you see my screen now, right?
Yes.
And after that, we're going to go to your week 5, what are you going to do, and if you have any questions. I have a lot of questions here. Can you mute yourself؟ في حد بيتفرج على مسلسل في التلفزيون او حاجه واحنا بنشتغل، بس يعني ممكن يعني يموت yourself عشان ما تسمعش معاك وانا المسلسل. يا استاذ منال، استاذه منال، mute yourself يا استاذه منال. ايوه. So I asked you to do your reflection this time will be on the discussion board. So one way of doing reflections, it can be in written individual work, and it can be a public written individual work, and it can be an oral reflection. So sometimes we can make like a group meeting, and we ask everybody in the room to share something, and we ask him questions or her questions about that thing, and they answer. And by the end of the meeting, we listen to like 3 or 4 people doing kinds of reflection on some incidents in their life, and we are all learning from that. So that's why I decided this week that you write the reflections. You write it, and each person in the class see what the other people have written. And I read your work, and it's good. And I saw a lot of questions, and I will try to. I think I have answered many of these questions in my discussion of the engineering design and the part that we have just finished. So let me choose one question more, or a question that you think you need me to answer. If you look at, so in the directions of this activity, you said that the instructor will respond to 5 common questions. And I think I answered many of these questions when I was talking about the engineering design process. If you need me to answer any more questions, please let me know. So I'm going now through the questions. يعني هنا عندنا Dalia has written like 8 questions. One of those questions is, how can we make students apply the skills they learn in the classroom to any problem? Who can answer this question? From our maybe based on our discussion today. Yes.
I think if they learn the map, the EDP map, they can do this. They can apply the skill.
Excellent. So if you put them in situations like what we have just discussed now, you can, the students they're not self-regulatory. I mean, they're not going to know things on their own. They need some kind of contextualization. We need to put them in a context. We need to put them on the road, and we push them towards their destination. And one way of doing that is asking them good essential questions, and leading them to find the answer to these essential questions through some way like the engineering design process. Yes, good, very good. Do we have another question? Number 5 is, how can teachers make use of the developing curriculum in tackling the challenges? I think most of these questions are answered when we were doing the work on the ADP, right? But these are good questions. I like them so much. Thank you.
Dalian.
Dalia, thank you Dalia. رانيا طبعا I thank you رانيا من غير ما تفتح المايك. I thank you so much. Have you seen this process in your life or work? Yeah, actually I didn't see any work. هو ده اللي انت. لو احنا بصينا على هنا بنقول actually I didn't see in my career as I'm working in small ages kids. So Rania hasn't seen the engineering design process in any work of her career. The master's degree, final problem. Yes, so you are talking here about your work in the master's degree. Actually, the engineering design process may be like what? It's around us everywhere.
Yes, we use it without naming it.
Yes, yeah, no, so people don't say, yeah, this is engineering design process, actually. But in the mechanics, if you have a car and you would like to fix it, the mechanic is doing the same thing. If you are having a problem in your sewage system at home and you're trying to figure out how to solve it, you are doing some of the steps of the EDP. If you are dealing with your kids in the class and some of the students have some behavior issues, you might go through the same process a little bit, some way. So it's not just about engineers and it's not about engineering. It's called engineering, yes, but it's not all about engineering. All right?
Yes, I see when we put the lesson plan for our lesson, our learning outcome, we use these steps, but we doesn't name it as it.
Okay. Nice. What is the best way for designing a STEAM curriculum? So I have answered this question, Minna. The best way is using UBD. Minna. ست منى.
يا دكتور.
ازيك؟
الحمد لله.
So this is your question, right?
Oh, okay.
Did you see my answer?
Yes. By using UGB.
Yes. Do you understand what a UBD is? It is the thing that we have just explained.
Oh, okay.
And you have the chance, everybody have the chance after this meeting is over, we'll have the chance to see to watch the recording again if you like. Okay?
And we already practiced it in the last term with Dr. Shireen when we tried to design our own units, and she said that this is how we learn by design. We try to design and we take several comments from our instructor, and that's how we learn.
So you got through 503, huh?
Yes, that's one we tried.
Yes, we did it. That was our final project, understanding by design.
Yeah, so you should have been going through this in 503, and because 504 is actually a continuation of 503 a little bit. Nice. So do you have other questions before I let you know what you are going to do this week, week 5? If you have more questions, please let me know, and I will give you grades for this discussion. It's excellent, and I'll give you not nice grades, but it's okay. Yani, you will get good grades. All right. So week 5, we're continuing to go through engineering design process, engineering, problem-based learning, project-based learning, and of course there is some difference between both of them, and you should have learned this in the readings. There is still again more explanation of the difference. We have here 1, 2, 3. These are 3 resources that are very important for you to read and watch. Some of them are videos, some of them are text, and they're very simplified so that you can understand better the difference between problem-based learning and engineering and project-based learning. The very thing we're going to do in week 5 is to do a nice thing that will help you understand or critique something in already made, and then look at it and look at the criteria and see if this is okay or not. So there is a reading here, and in that reading there is a unit, a STEM unit. Okay, you're going to read that unit and look at it and answer these questions. And these questions are based on the same reading, on the same text. You need to look at this text, and I'm not sure if I think this is the same text of last week. I think bringing engineering to classroom or something like that. And I would like you to read the text and evaluate that unit, or look at that unit from in the light of these questions. What are the mechanism and methods of integrating engineering as a curriculum? Yeah, how is engineering design is integrated? How does this help build problem-solving skills from your point of view? What are other skills gained from integrating engineering design? What are the benefits that come from integrating engineering design? So you look at the unit, you read the unit, and see how the developers of the unit pushed the students to use engineering design process. And if that is a good way to do that, if it's not good, how can it be better done? And how this is helping the students learn better. And I'd like you to work on this in groups, not in pairs. This will be, I will change this. In groups, and the groups are in here. The groups are in the final project here, the week project. So here are the groups. When you click here, you'll find the groups. So you can do that today. So after you read the unit and you answer the questions together, and I hope that these are your final groupings. So you might be working together to the end of this course. So I hope that you work together smoothly and you don't have any problem. If there is any problem in your group work, please let me know. After you are done with this, the project of the week, which is your assignment for this week, is to do 2 things. One of them is to bring the problems or the grand challenges in Egypt or in Cairo or in Sohag or in Gharbiya or in the place where you live in. Because you are a group, you might not be from the same place. So you think you try to settle together on place that you are working together on. And then after you decided on the place, so you might say Egypt, so that you are all Egyptians, okay? And say, yeah, what are the grand challenges of Egypt? So you write a list of challenges, right? And then you look at this list and you create a mind map. You know the mind map, right? Which is leading to what? And what is the source of all the issues, all the problems? So and you create a mind map. You can do this mind map in any document. You can choose the way you do that. Or you can use, there is a good application called MindMeister. I hope that you have used it with Shireen, the MindMeister application. You know this?
Yes, we use it.
Yes. So you can together work. And I saw how you used the infographic site. You did a very well work with
Yes,
that site.
we learn it.
So you can use a MindMeister to create that mind map. Okay, and after you are done with the mind map, stage number 2 will pop up. What is stage number 2? You choose one problem from the mind map, because I would like you to put this very well in your consideration, because this might be your work towards the final project of this course. So we start with the grand challenges, then we make the mind map, and then we select one problem from the map. Okay, so here we have many problems, and we say, yeah, we are going to take this problem, water problem, for instance. And then together you are going to say in how this problem is related to the curriculum you teach. Okay, can the math teachers, the English teachers, the science teachers have any relevance or connections to it? What is a connection between your curriculum and the problem? Okay, guys. And the third problem, third thing is to think of how you engage the students. How we can engage the students in engineering design process or problem-based learning to help them solve that problem. Of course, you are going to mention, or going to ask them essential questions, and you can have some essential questions like the one we used today, because this is the best way to engage students in doing work like this.
I want to ask Dr. Can we put to them a project or a challenge?
Yeah, of course, you can do all these things. Yes.
Okay.
Marwa, if you like to leave, Marwa can leave now. I'll finish in 5 minutes. So, and you can watch the recording anytime.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. You mentioned the steps you will take and how many disciplines can be integrated. So we're going to say, yeah, in this project or in this whatever, this we're going to start from this, and then we're going to move to this, and then move to this, and move to this. And write all these things in one paper form. So have one document writing all these things from the project name. You can give it a name, then your names, and then the grand challenges, and then the mind map of the grand challenges. So if you make it on MindMeister, you can take a screenshot or download the mind map and put it in the document. And then you decided on one problem, and then you tell us how we are going to tackle this problem with the students. How are we going to help the students to work on that problem together? And are going to submit it here as a group. So we are 3 groups. So I need only 3 projects to be uploaded to this place. And of course, you know that this should be these are the description of the project here. You can download it. The rubric and all the details are here. So and if you have any further questions, you can ask me now, or you can send me the question on the WhatsApp group or any other thing.
Okay. تمام.